This time we're going to take a look at the data sets at an assessment level and the 3 ways to view our data through the CR, Continuum Results View, the ZPD, the Zone of Proximal Development, and the CD, or Content Descriptor View. So let's take a look at these ways to view our data in our View class results on the platform. So here we are in our class again and heading across to our View class results tab. Please be mindful once again that we are in the correct syllabus. As we come down underneath the heading of the assessments we have completed, we'll be able to see when we have data, as there will be 3 ways to view the data. Hovering over from left to right, you can see we have the continuum results, the zone of proximal development, and the content descriptor view. So these are our names for our 3 ways to view our data. Our recommendation is to move through the data from left to right, the same way that we read. We come to our continuum results first, as it will identify the year level headings. So let's click into our CR view. Once we are in our CR view, we can see the tab that we are in, and there's a key to identify the different elements that we'll see in this data set. We are first able to collate and sort our data. It's because it's a pre-assessment. We collate and sort our data to merge all the various assessments together, and it will allow us to see our data from the outcomes that are the highest down to our students with the lowest results. We are also able to view our data and filter into the various focus areas. So please be aware you can drill down into the data that way. Also, please be mindful that when you see the darker coloured squares, it indicates that the students sat the assessment in that particular stage or year level. If it is faded out, it means that that is assumed knowledge because the student has started the assessment at a higher stage. So here we can see our data. We are a Year 3 teacher, so I've scrolled across to my Year 3 entitlement. We can hover to see the stage outcome, and we'll also be able to notice that we have the ability to see a zone of proximal development for our class, which is highlighted in yellow. But be mindful, the highlighted yellow is to do with the students who sat the assessment within that stage. When we hover over the different indicators, we're able to see the overall understanding. Being a Year 3 teacher, we know that we have to teach the curriculum at Year 3 level. However, there will be some areas that the students have already shown great understanding, which means we may not have to spend as much time. If it is highlighted yellow, it is below 70% of understanding. So this would really be part of our whole class focus or targeted teaching, and we perhaps need to allow extra time to deal with these particular elements within our curriculum. When we scroll down the year below, we'll see that we have highlighted yellow some elements that are prerequisite understanding that is missing. But the 25% that I can see highlighted here is to do with these students down at the bottom, at the lower end of understanding. So we can then make that decision. Is it going to be part of my whole class teach, when I'm explicitly teaching my whole class, or am I going to target these particular students? And at this stage, there's only a handful of students, so it would become part of your targeted teaching. When we come back up to the top, we can also see, obviously, students who are beyond our the year level of our entitlement, because this cohort has quite a large number of students who've moved into that Year 4 curriculum. So that's when you start to make your decisions around your planning. As we move through our results, we're not going to our numeracy because we're going to unpack that in another module. So let's move across to our ZPD. One of the advantages of the ZPD, once we've also collated and sorted our data, is the ability to see a pathway of learning. However, be mindful, it's when we look at this, we don't see the grade levels, which is why we start at the continuum results for our first data view. The one advantage of the ZPD is that we can download a paper-based resource as well as a list of the students who misunderstood that content descriptor. And another fantastic element in the Zone of Proximal Development dataset is the ability to click on those misunderstandings, the red squares, to see the question that the student answered there. So that can be really a helpful part of our planning. Once again, we can filter through to our focus areas to drill down into that data set. Moving across to our content descriptors, this is a great way to export the information, as it will give us that lovely indicator information, and also it allows us to see the students. It will print an Excel spreadsheet, and it will give us an understanding of the students who misunderstood that particular concept or indicator. As we print that out into an Excel spreadsheet, you'll be able to see all of the students' names and the percentage of students who sat that particular year level content, how much understanding or misunderstanding there was, because we can filter to select either misunderstood or understood. And once again, this is our export options on the right-hand side. So these are the 3 ways to view our data within our view class results. So please remember, we usually will work our way from left to right in order to view our data.